Welcome back. We're back. Hey.
Hey.
You know us. You know us. If you don't, you better get to know us. This is Dawson And Ashely with our girl KK. What's up?
What's good? Cake from the red.
Hey, we just left off with real great conversation. I'm gonna keep it going. Let's talk about safety, right? I mean, like, guys are giving off these, these vibes that, tough guys mentality, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, to me, like, why do some women are choosing that type of guy? Kayla, since you're the youngest of this group, why do you think a lot of women pick those tough guys or those, in relationships?
Because a lot of women don't even understand themselves. That's why. Like, a lot of women, especially in my generation, they're trying to either be a thug their dang self, or they are just not certain with themselves, and they feel like they like the fast life. I call it like in the fast life. They like, the money, the cars, the drugs, and they're like how it looks on the outside. Like, in a way, it's just they're just not comfortable with themselves, because I'm just nothing like that. I just don't think that way. I don't care about, them jailbirds or a thug dude or whatever. Not saying that I haven't experienced them. It's no shade to nobody, or no shade to people doing time. Yeah, ain't no shade to doing no time or nothing. It's no disrespect to nobody. It's more just a thing with me. It's just like I'm understanding with myself, and plus, I have, family and my father that, are real street men, like real gangsters. So it's like, I can kind of just see through, and most dudes in my generation are trying so hard to be put on the map or be named something or be in this gang, this, that. So they really just be pump faking, and I don't like being the man in a relationship.
Absolutely. And that takes a strong woman to, say those words right there. Saying, I'm proud that you are my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt I raised you right. You know what I mean? Remember, I used to tell KK all the time, you can do wrong by your damn self. You don't need nobody to help you do wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it takes no effort to do wrong by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody bring somebody else in there and help you do wrong. So, actually, though, I think you should have jumped in and rebutted it already, because when KK said that, you know what I'm saying, she ain't into dating dudes, thug dudes, and jailhouse dudes. I'm saying, but everybody know who Ashley's boyfriend, Jerome Blake. You know what I'm saying? That's real incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? What's that? So Ashley.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of dude you pick.
I mean, it's a dude that I picked. I don't feel like it's
in the beforehand though. I want to start from the beginning though. What type of, you didn't tell me before though. I'm gonna let you tell it though. What is your ideally a guy? Because you obviously you're a white girl, right? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Do you prefer black guys over white guys, or you don't see them?
I mean, I feel like that's an easy assumption to make, right? I've been in a relationship with a couple black.
What you got to go to that house? Why is it easy assumption?
Right. Well, I have biracial children and I have mixed kids. So I feel like, once that happens, anybody looking from the inside out, they just assume that's what you like.
You like
but
dark.
Yeah. But I really feel like it's more just, it's a mentality. It's like I just tend to relate to people that have been through similar things that I've been through. And I feel like, for me, it's kind of just coming from the struggle. And I don't think it's, I've dated white men, I've dated Mexican men, I've dated black men, I've dated a Middle Eastern man. Mm-hmm. And, that's something that we all had in common, was just kind of where we came from and trying to get out of that,
Do you think it's a stigma that everybody, that women have a type? Is that you guys think that's a stigma today? Like, I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I dated the majority of white women my whole life, you know what I'm saying? And then I dipped into Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And, black women. So I don't have any preference, you know what I'm saying, in my body, but I'm saying, you think it's a stigma today that a lot of women just want to stick to certain? And I mean, like, Michaela, have you ever dated a white dude?
No. and won't. I actually have tried to talk to a white dude before, and when I was crying one time, this dude looked me in my eyes and said, "I thought your people don't feel pain." And ever since then, I said, "I'm gonna stay with my people. Then I'm gonna stay with my people right over here."
Wait. Hey, for real though, you know what I'm saying? That's not even saying like it being like. Is it? Do you think that's something that's happened more than we that we want to think that?
That happens all the time.
Like, a type of guy? Yeah, I mean, what about type of guy? Do you guys have a type of guy?
Like I feel like every woman has a type of guy they're looking for. I feel like it's just when you go off your type, then you have to explain it. Like, oh, like I guess I went this way to try something different. But yeah, I have a type. I like my chocolate kings. Like I love my black men. Like. But I wouldn't mind trying something different.
Or black, like skin, dark black.
Light skin, like I like the skin because I like I had dated a Haitian before, so it's like I'm new to trying things. I don't really care about ethnicity and this and that. If you look good, you look good, and then if the personality match, then we good.
What about you, Ashley? You have a type?
Yeah, smart, successful, driven, goals.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Did you have a type back when you were Caleb? Were you had a type when you were Caleb? Because you grew up. Now you knew what's the difference of that, right?
I mean, so yeah, I've always been attracted to like alpha men because I feel like I'm a strong woman, and so I feel like I'm attracted to a man that like handles his business, that handles shit. And like, unfortunately, when I was KK's age, the people that I was hanging around with, the type of business they were handling wasn't legit, So yeah, so at that time, like it was like these dudes in the streets. I find that I don't find that attractive at all. I don't think gangbanging, being in the streets, selling drugs is cool at all.
So you don't want no thug. You don't want no thug to be like, hey, shut your mouth.
I want like a retired thug. You know what I'm saying? Like
you want a smoky bear. You want a grizzly bear. You want a smoky bear, huh?
Well, what's hard though is having experienced that is like trying to date somebody that hasn't experienced that at all. It's really hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things we can't relate on. I don't think those things are cool or attractive, but I feel like because that's part of my past, like, it's like trying to date like a square, somebody that's just had it figured out from day one.
We call them the silver
I can't
spoon.
relate to that.
We call them the silver spoon fed.
I can't relate. We can't relate on simple topics because you've never had to worry about some shit. And so you wouldn't understand me, and why I move the way I do, why I think the way I do, because all of that.
That brings safety to you though? Did you feel safe around that?
I did at the time. Now looking back, I can see, how stupid some of those assumptions are and how naive and young I was, to think that, that dating a drug dealer, a gun-toting drug dealer was safe, but I felt safe at the time. But now, like, oh my God, no.
I don't even feel safe with them. I be feeling like they ops is my ops. Like, I'm like, oh, that's that dude's girl. Yeah, blick her down. And I'm like, no. That's why I just don't mess with them. It's just like, I seen so many cases, especially like recently in my generation. I mean, it's probably been happening for generations, but I'm just saying for my generation, what I see all over social media of the girlfriend or this gang member getting shot in her mouth for this and that. I don't have time for that. Like, like I'm trying to have kids and grow old and, like have grandkids, like, that's why it's like I have to be cautious of who I choose to love on.
Why do you think that some women, especially your age, Michaela, are choosing these, these trap house running dudes and, these gangster rappers and all this stuff, and, guys out there that's plugged in. Why do you think they choose these type of men? Do you have any friends out there that chose these type of men, and they give you a perspective why?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's more of like a safe spot. It's something they're already used to. It's something that they were like, because when we were like kids, like kids, like. And me and my friends, you know, we used to chase those type of boys. That's like I can't judge because I used to do that, but I had to learn from that, you know, in a way. But I have, you know, friends that still choose to, you know, be around that and everything. And I feel like it's just because of like it being a safe place and, you know, that alpha energy. I feel like a lot of women don't know that they can get something different, but in a good way, type of different within different men that, you know,
100%.
doesn't do like gang banging, you know. Like the dude I met not recently, I know him for like a year or something now, but like, you know, he has no idea if I tell you anything that's something that has to do with book smart, street smart, anything, you know, but he's a good man and he keeps me safe, and, you know, I felt safe around him, you know. I do agree with what Ashley did say that it can be difficult to relate with those type of people that haven't went through the struggle or went through anything. But I don't know. I kind of feel like you got to be a little bit more open to things to find
trust?
better out
You think
there.
trust is Ashley, do you think that trust is a big, you know, number one thing?
I think trust is the number one thing, but I feel like, you know, speaking to a younger woman or like a younger girl, like what I wish somebody had told me is like, you know, that illusion of safety, like it is an illusion. I feel like a real man, somebody that truly cares about you, wouldn't even put you in certain situations. Like you wouldn't experience those situations, or they wouldn't mess with you at all because they know what type of shit that they're up to, and they have no business bringing these women around these situations. So yeah, trust is important, but I feel like, you know, knowing what that even means is like the most important thing, you know? Like, I think like KK said, like these girls don't, you know, they're still figuring themselves out. They don't know themselves well. And like, it's easy to reach for like what looks cool, what like, you know,
Fast life.
it looks like it's safe, but it's not. Like, you know.
Safety comes within yourself, you know what I'm saying? Being aware, being always, you know, having yourself in a position, you know what I'm saying, where you can see a red flag and, you know, move swiftly and get the hell out of there, right? Because that's the only way safety applies to, right? Is how well you are safe with yourself. What are you willing to, you know, take and what you're not willing to take, right? So, I mean, like, toxicity is, you know, it's very it's not a, you know, rare thing. I'm saying, like, every time you turn on, you know, TV or turn on, you know, get on Instagram or, you know, YouTube, TikTok, this toxic relationships being poured onto, you know, social media pages, right? And when you turn on TV, all the news of people, you know, man, you know, beating their wives to death, and, you know what I'm saying, and all this stuff, it's crazy out there right now. So you have to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because a guy looks tough, you feel me, like, he may not be the type of guy, you know, hear something in, you know, downstairs and be the first one to walk down there and see what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So looks, you know, being tough is not, you know, necessarily a key thing that anybody should look for in any relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, that's deceiving, you feel me? So,
Right.
I mean, how do you build trust with someone after, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, like most people, like, you know, I know after my, you know, last wife, you know, before I got married again, I was just, you know, jumped from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't trust a lot of people. That's me being a Taurus man, it's hard, you know what I'm saying, put 100% trust in anyone, right? Because, you know, I'm an overthinker. So if you do anything inside of the pocket and I take wind of it, a red flag throw, you know, I'll just overthink that. So trust was like, I used to wear, like, Michaela would know, you know, I used to wear my heart on my sleeve, right? We love that song. I wear my heart on my sleeve, you know, and she's witnessed it, you know, firsthand, you know, after, you know, I divorced her mom, and she's seen it, you know, she was involved in one of the girls I dated, right? She was involved in their life as well, and she's seen it, and she used to tell me, like, Dad, this girl don't love you. I'm saying, like, she just loved what you're giving her. You know what I'm saying, materialistic things, right? And I was just, after that, like, you know, just going through these trials and errors, I stopped trusting. So to me, it's like, for me to see trust in you, there can't be no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You can't be throwing red flags out there. You know what I'm saying? Because once I see it, I'm gonna catch that mug and I'm gonna run the opposite way with it. You feel me? So, I mean, what it takes, like, now that I'm remarried, it's just knowing that, you know, from the beginning, I just was, you know, attention. You know,
Right.
We got engaged really fast, we got married really fast. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that we both were sick and tired of playing these little games that these guys out there, these women out here playing. You know, so what do you guys think when maybe something after a breakup? You know what I'm saying, Michaela? How do you gain that trust with that new person?
I go into relationships not holding the next person accountable for what the last person did, and it took me actually a long time to really grasp onto that. But it took me, you know, losing certain good dudes in my life, you know, to realize that, you know, I am the problem. I'm not allowing myself to be happy, to, you know, love again and everything. So yeah, I feel like that's just the best advice I can really give out to people, is just when you go into your next relationship, you know, just don't hold them accountable for what you went through. And honestly, if you are still holding on to what the last person did to you, you don't need to be looking for a next relationship. There should be no next relationship. You need to heal.
That's some big words right there, because healing is so needed. I'm saying, like, I didn't know that until, you know, after I did it, self-heal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was 2 years straight just by myself, you know? And, you know, it was, I wouldn't say by myself, I was doing Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying? With KK and a couple people, like, and then seriously, there was nobody in my life at that time, you know what I'm saying, during COVID and stuff. So I had a lot of time, in that process to heal myself, and knowing that whoever got me next will have a better version of me anybody else. Nobody has seen this version of me except my wife now. You know, my kids are experiencing this, right? Because I'm not the same man I used to be. You feel me? Ashley, have you had any recent or past people you had to forgive, or, you know what I'm saying, like, you had to also heal from that and go into another relationship and trust?
Absolutely. I feel like you know, I was kind of just finding myself in the same situation over and over again. And I had to take a break, you know, and kind of reevaluate. Kind of like KK said, like, I was the problem, you know. It wasn't necessarily these men that I was choosing. It was me and the type of person I was choosing. What I was looking for wasn't what I really wanted, you know. And I think, you know, it's gotten easier once I kind of figured out who I am, what I have to offer, and what I'm looking for. It's easier to weed out all the other mess, you know?
Absolutely. It's my healing process, and I want to ask you both this as well, but my healing process started with me looking myself in the mirror one day. You know, admitting I am the problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we lost Ashley or not, but she just blocked the camera out. But I was like really had to look myself and face myself in that mirror and say, you know, you're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nobody's fault but your fault. You feel me? Like, all these toxic relationships, you get a big hand in, you know, with that. You know what I'm saying? Either like indulging in it or, you know, aiding and assisting in it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because staying with a toxic person, you're enabling that person to, you know, continue being toxic in your life, right? So that's truly a red flag for yourself, right? It's knowing that you are willing to stay in a toxic relationship just because you want somebody, you know, to sleep next to you in that cold bed at night, you know, saying to keep you warm. But like, that's not healthy at all. So I think we did lose Ashley, but Michaela, do you remember your pivot point of when you needed it, how you healed yourself, and how was?
I think it took completely losing myself and breaking down completely for me to realize that like I needed to do better for myself and I needed to put myself first, because I remember one day I was having an argument with my significant other, and I just completely just lost myself, and I was just screaming and crying and dragging myself through the dirt and just, you know, talking about what I wanted to do to myself and everything. And it just was like, I guess in a way that was just like a whoa, hold up. Like I think I felt like almost like an out of body experience. Like I saw myself outside my body, just dragging myself through the dirt and just doing all this for just somebody. Like letting somebody just completely break me. And I was like, I remember, you know, hearing, you know, my father's and my mom in my ear telling me like, you know, like, you changed a lot. There's like a lot of times that my parents have kept telling me over and over again, Michaela, you changed. Like, you're just not the same. Like you used to never just sit in your funk and, you know, put up with these men and this and that. Like, you know, I changed a lot, because I used to be that young woman that, you know, just didn't put up with nothing and didn't, you know, let anybody step over me. But then for something it changed, and I became this sorry woman that just let anybody step on them, and I couldn't go for that. So maybe it was, in a way, it was my older, you know, my younger self, but the older me telling myself like, hey, let me pop out real quick, because you folding, you stumbling, like you need to go get help, because this is not you. Like, get up, get on your feet, and realize who you are, because this ain't you, and this is sad. Like, I just had to keep telling myself, this is sad, like, you're a sad woman. I know it sounds messed up to say to yourself, but like, sometimes you just need to, like, because I grew up with tough love. I grew up with tough love, so it's like I needed that. I use that same tough love against myself in a way.
Absolutely, you need to hear that, you know, out loud. Either you telling yourself or someone that you trust and love tell you that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You being dumb, you being goofy right now. You feel me? Like, this ain't you, right? You know, like when me and you have our conversation, I'm like, hey, I didn't raise you this way. You know what I'm saying? You like get up and, you know, watch, you know, dust off and keep pushing, pimping. You feel me? Because the more you keep letting people roll over you and take advantage of you, you gonna just become your norm, right?
Mind y'all, I used to cry every time this man over here would like tell me, oh, grow up, Michaela, do this, Michaela, like, you know, don't put up with it. It's because he gave me that tough love, and I didn't know how to take it at first, and I just thought that I would just take it as in he was yelling at me. But in all honesty, I'm appreciative of all the things that, you know, not even things, the times that my father and has been there to just basically give me that tough love, because that's kind of what made me the strong woman I am today, that don't put up with half the stuff that these women, I guess in my generation you would say, put up with. And that's why it's like I put myself in a separate bubbles most of the time, like especially with this conversation we're having about, you know, like my generation with relationships and this and that. I can't relate with a lot of people in my generation. I feel like a lot of people need to take a step back and just really get in tune with themselves and really figure out themselves before they're figuring out. Like I grew up on this one saying. It was always you need to love yourself before loving others. Like, and I feel like that went over a lot of people's head. Like, is if you're not, is she back?
No.
Oh,
Thinking love. Do you believe that true love is harder to find these days?
It's most definitely harder to find. Like I told you earlier, and a lot of people are looking to get their body up and just, you know, live that fast life. I mean, a lot of people in my generation, I'm 23 now, like people were already like, I mean, I remember going to high school and there was like 10 girls already giving babies, like, you know, it's just like a lot of people are just living like this crazy fast life and feeling like, you know, like they just don't give themselves enough time to just, you know, actually get to know a person, because that is why there's a lot of single mothers, and it has gone crazy in this generation. There's nothing but single mothers, and I'm not disrespecting nobody or, you know, speaking on nobody's situation. Everyone's situation is different, but I feel like it all resorts around the time of just not giving yourself enough time to really get to know the person that you choose to open your legs to.
And we got a few minutes left. I want to ask you this though. I want you to close us out on this right here because you just said something about being a single mom and people out there like that. Do you think marriage is still a goal for most women, or has mind shifted? Has women mind shifted?
I honestly feel like people forget about marriage completely. It's like I said, in my generation, I feel like there's been more babies than rings. And I just feel like that's just backwards. I'm not saying that you have to put a ring on a woman's finger in order to give them a baby. Whatever you believe in is what you believe in. Everyone has their own different beliefs and religion. But I just feel a simple fact is that people's mindsets are set on just, I love you. I like you. Okay, let's sleep together. Okay, boom. Actually figure out the type of person you slept with, and then boom, not together. They're like, if people, like I said, people would take their time out to just take a step back and realize who they're messing with. Half these people wouldn't even be messing with each other, having kids with each other, and then there actually be marriage involved.
I mean, I'm so happy. And Ashley, welcome back.
Welcome.
Technical difficulties.
I'm like, man, it did a earthquake hit Seattle or something. Let me check the news. all contact. You know what I'm saying? I would just want to take this time out right now and just let you guys know that I appreciate you both coming on the show. Ashley, you being part of the show, but Michaela coming on the show and blessed us with your presence. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's the title, it speaks. Look like it speaks, downplaying women and stuff like that, but at the same time, women gotta stop being dumb, right? Because there's a dumbass man out here, that's truly taking advantage of weak-minded, right? Broken women, right? And just like people out here that's, avoiding red flags, right? So you guys, one advice I can give you guys before we close out today is like this. Now, every man that looks good smells good. Now, every man that smells good lives good. You see what I'm saying? So, looks are deceiving as hell, right? So, my thing on my profile on my dating app said, all this that you see on the outside, that can be altered. I can lose weight. I can go to the gym, get some muscles, right? But if that don't match the inside, I got a cold heart. I can be the type of man put my hands on you, put some knuckles, put some lumps upside your head, I can be that dude. But get to know this man inside before you try to look at the outside, judge on the outside, right? Because all this can be altered. And all this right here, that beauty, all that makeup women put on, all the muscles you guys put on and stuff like that, all these tattoos that we have on our body, all that stuff gonna fade out, get old and wrinkled, and or sick, and you may find yourself, by yourself. Not because you chose the wrong person to, take the time out and look inside that person's heart and see who they truly are. You feel me? So, and that takes work. Michaela said it in the beginning of this conversation. She said, it's communication, right? Communicating with each other daily. In my therapy session, when me and my wife, before we got married, our pre-marriage counseling, that our therapist said that every day you take 5 to 10 minutes out of your time. And you give that woman, that man 5 to 10 minutes before you go take a shower, before you do anything. You walk in the house and you sit down and you give 5 to 10 minutes to that person and tell them, how was your day? And communicate. And after that 10 minutes, you go take your shower, you come back, you help out with the house, you talk more. But you give that person time because there's so many vultures, there's so many people out there coming at this person every day. This person's job must be stressful. Things can happen, right? And you don't know what that type of day a person having. So please take that time out and speak to each other. Communicate these things. Stop looking, at what these people, bring to the table, financially or, stuff like that. These things are important. Don't get it twisted. These things are important, but you got to make it to the first phase first. And that's getting to know each other. You feel me? So, again, thank you guys. This is the Talking with Dawson and Ashely show. Michaela, I hope that you come back for our next segment. We're going to roll this over from relationship to friendships. And that's going to be a hot heater because oh my God, I have a lot to say about friendships in this world right now. Hey, that's a heavy topic. So any closeouts you guys want to say before we leave? Ashley?
Man,
You just got back.
yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I feel like, these bomb conversations that we get to have every week. Thank you, KK, for joining us. I love hearing like that perspective from these, younger people. I feel like I got younger people in my house, and I always think that I'm hip and I know what's going on, but it's good to get all the different perspectives. And I'm excited to talk about friendship because that's a hot topic for sure.
Hey, Kelly, take us out of here. Tell them what your name is, KK.
Kay from the rag. Thank you guys for having me. I'll for sure be coming back on to talk some more. Your mental health awareness queen. You feel me? All right, y'all have a good day. Be blessed.
Hey, hit that subscribe, hit that like. You know what I'm saying?
Right down
Share
there.
these videos, baby. Hey, we out of here. Thank you guys again. Thank you. Love you both. Peace, love you.